Okay, everyone. I did a video last night on programming a Helliboard in a Daystate Redwolf. Same for a pulsar and everything. Well, not really too happy with some of it, really, to be honest. And I've made some glaring mistakes on it as well. So I've decided I'm going to redo it and show you a little bit more. But I'm going to very quickly just go through the settings that the Helliboard has to offer. As opposed to the factory settings that you get with a factory stock board from Daystate. So Helliboard is a drop-in replacement for what the Red Bull's factory board or the Pulsar's factory board. You remove the old board. Be careful with the connectors; they're very delicate. Refix them, and then you install. You put the gun back together, and then mind the cables and stuff like that. And then what you'll have is you're going to have a different setting up here. So a different title screen. So up here, obviously you got your pressure there, you got your capacitor voltage. That directly affects velocity on your given power setting. So at the moment that's set to 90 volts. That's kind of what comes as with the pre-programmed, the preset power settings that come from that the gentleman who makes these boards does. And that down there is your battery voltage. You to cycle through different individual settings, turn the gun off, press and hold the trigger, turn on, and then you're going to start going through all the different settings here. I will briefly touch on each one. I'm not going to go into it too deeply. When you get one, you can have a good look, but I'm just going to show you the how and not so much the why. But yeah, turn the gun off. So press and hold the trigger, turn on. Excuse me. Right, let me try and mix that bit. Right, power level. Right, so you've pressed and held the trigger, you turn the gun back on, it comes to power level. At the moment we're on power 10. So you don't want power 10 no more, you want to go to power 7. You press and hold, saved, turn the switch off. Right, turn it back on, and now we're back to power 7. I have done a nice curve on this power setting here, as I found the JSB, sorry, not JSB, the FX pellets, they probably are JSB, the FX pellets gave me the best accuracy at that given power setting. Now you would think, well, great, I'm on my way to go, it's good, it's going to work and everything, but the problem is you're going to get quite an extreme spread. These settings are, although very good, each individual setting, you should really want to be able to tune your gun and flatten that curve. I'll go into how we do that in a second, but so yeah, that's your power setting. So I'm just, for argument's sake now, I'm going to turn the gun off and I'm going to go back to power 10 where I was before. So there we go, power 10, press and hold, saved. There we go, switch off, switch back on, and we're back to where we were. So let's just go through quickly again. Another one, power level. Voltage capacitor, sorry, P10 capacitor voltage, that changes your voltage. That's your course adjustment. So as you up that and lower that, you will affect your velocity directly. To do your fine adjustment, I'll show you that in a minute with the pulse width. So yeah, we don't want to touch that, so I turn that off. Yeah, and that will do nothing. So press and hold the trigger, turn back on. LCD light. Now I have my light on all the time because I like to see that if the gun's working or not, and I don't want to forget that I've left the Red Wolf turned on. It doesn't have a sleep timer like the factory boards does, and what can happen is if you leave the gun on, you will drain the battery down, and then you have to buy a new battery. I think they're only about 12 quid. You can get it online somewhere, but yeah, you don't want to drain these LiPo batteries down. So that's what that is. Gun off. Press and hold trigger, gun on. LCD light, LCD extra info. That's what you want to turn on to be able to. You will see a change on the screen, and that will give you something called raw units and pulse widths. Get to that in a minute, but I'll just, yeah, I don't want to change nothing here, so I'm going to turn that gun off, turn back on, and let's see what's next. Reduce shots too, so I've got mine set to unlimited. You can reduce them, so say you want to shoot groups of 5, you can change it to 5, and then the gun will tell you you've shot 5 or you're on 4 and you've got 1 more left. I don't use that. I just count my shots. So that to me, I don't really care about. So yeah, I don't want to change nothing there. So gun off again, press and hold the trigger, gun on. What we got? LCD light, LCD info, reduce shots 2, power 10 calibration. Right, so I will explain what each thing is in a minute. I'll just go through the rest of the settings briefly just to show you, so I can get that out of the way. Then we can come back to this, and this is where, as I said last night, this is the meat and potatoes of programming your shot string. So yeah, not going to change nothing on that yet. So gun off, gun back on, press and hold, keep the trigger held, it will cycle through. What are we going to get to? Probably going to get to the end soon. Yeah, that's minimum pressure for your, so when you've done your shot curve and you've programmed it and it's all singing, all dancing, what you can do, you know that you're going to be down to about 170 bar, 160 bar, and that's going to be your minimum that you'll be able to maintain the velocity of your chosen pellet or slug. So what you do is you say, for instance, it is 170 bar. That is your lowest setting, minimum pressure. You change that to 170. That over there, I'm not 100% what that is, so I'm not going to say what it is. It's some sort of calculator for, oh yeah, the amount of pressure each shot is using. So 0.89 of a bar, I believe that's what that is what you're getting per shot. As you change your settings, as you program out and get that nice flat shot curve, this should change. So you're getting and using less air because you're going to try and get more of an efficient tune. But that's the end game. That's what you're going to hope to get. So yeah, I'm not changing any of that. So gun off, press and hold. There we go. Keep going. I think we're going to get to the welcome screen bit in a minute. Where are we? Yeah, so I've got my welcome screen on for 2 seconds. You can have it on for, you can have it off totally, have it on for half a second, 1 second, 2 seconds, or off again. So I'm going to put mine back to 2. Press it and hold. There we go. Gun off. Gun back on again. And there's your welcome screen, if you just saw it then. And then you're back to your main screen. So just show you one more time. Oh, hang on. There we go. Pulsar Redwolf Helliboard. There we go. That's your welcome screen. It's just customized, just makes it your own gun, doesn't it? So turn off. Let's go through again. Let's go through the last few bits. That's the text. That's how you write what you want to write. So Giles is Helliboard or Frederick's Helliboard or whatever, Frederick's Redwolf, whatever you want to write on there, you write, obviously within reason here. And then you press L to save it, and then you've saved your welcome screen. And that is it. I don't think, let me just go through it. I don't think there's any more. Let's just go through it. I don't think there's no more on this. So, yep, done that. There we go. Yep, so turn off, turn back on. Right, what we're going to do now is I'm just going to explain a couple things here. So you want to find a good curve for your chosen palette. So what you need to do is this is how I did it. Other people might do it differently, but I go through the power settings, right? That are available on the Helliboard, so power 1 to power 12. Now I know, and so will a lot of people if you've done your homework, that each pellet prefers a certain velocity. So if you're shooting a 25.39 grain JSB or a 25.4 FX pellet in 2.5 caliber, you're gonna probably know that they like to perform round about 900 feet per second, maybe a little bit faster, maybe a bit slower, but generally 900 feet per second. So you want to keep your shot curve as nearest damn it to 900 feet per second for as long a shot count as possible. That's what your aim should be. I currently have set my gun up on another power set, and power 7 I have managed to do a nice curve of 84 shots at 900 feet per second. And that was from 250 bar down to 170 bar. So I'm getting 84 shots when I think the factory Redwolf, I was getting about 50 shots. So that shows you what the Helliboard can improve on. So let's go into I'll just show you what you need to do. Right, so excuse the crappy bit of paper. Let's just zoom out a bit there. Right, so you want to shoot an entire shot string on a certain power level that you have selected. So you think power 10 is quite a good setting, it's getting you quite a good accuracy, but what's happening is you're getting that big drop in velocity over the shot string, and you don't want that, because that means you've got an extreme spread a mile wide, and you don't want that, right? So what you do is, let me just go into this LCD extra info bit. So let me zoom in a bit here so you can see what I'm doing. So gun off, press and hold the trigger. Let's find LCD extra info. There. So you want to turn that from being off. You want to keep that there and keep that there, right? So that's pulse width and raw pressure. So you want that, and I'll explain to you what that is in a sec. So press and hold, saved, turn the gun off, turn the gun on. You are now going to have up here, the readings have changed somewhat. So you still got your voltage down there, you still get your shot count, you've got your power setting what you're on, and then your battery voltage. But here you've got two readings here that are moving about, and what that is the raw pressure unit. So instead of having bar, it's changed to R. Now you have like 20 different sets of pressure units to play with. So instead of it saying 250 bar, 245 bar, 240 bar, it's going to say 910 R, 905 R, and so on, all the way down to the R values equivalent of, say, 170 bar is going to be about 650 R, right? So that sounds totally out of whack. You think, what the hell does it mean? I'm going to show you. So what you want to do, you get this display up. So LCD extra info, turn on your pulse width and your R values. So that's your pulse widths. That is the amount of time that the voltage has been applied to the valve to let the air out. So for a nice short, sharp burst or a longer burst, different, as you'll find, you change that to suit your velocity. So what you do, gun off, gun on, and let's go through to, there we go. Right, you got this display come up. Right, before we do that, I'm just going to go back to my crappy piece of paper here and just explain a few things. So what you're going to do is you're going to shoot an entire shot string and record each velocity, so, and each pulse width and what the R value was. So you will fire your shot, you record the R value. So let's just do that now. Let's just show you what that's going to look like. So you're going to fire your shot. Before you do that, you're going to note what the live reading is. So you're going to see it says 825. So you write your 825 down on your crappy bit of paper. You then have your pulse width. You write that down, what that is at the moment, that figure there. You fire your shot and you record your velocity. So, and you do that for, I don't know, until you get down to, like, say 170, 160 bar, where you're not going to get the velocities anymore. So you can have that bandwidth of pressure within your cylinder to play with. So from 170 bar up to 250 bar, you want to be trying programming it to get as many shots at a certain velocity as possible. So you record your R value, your pulse width, and your velocity, and you keep doing this until you get down to, say, 170, 160 bar. Obviously dependent on what projectile you're using, that you will get down there quicker using a heavier slug than you will with a 25 grain pellet. So when you've done that, what you then need to do is you look at your piece of paper and you think to yourself, right, well, that velocity there, that's 930, but I'm using JSB knockouts, and I found that 920 feet per second seems to be a really good grouping. So what I'm going to do is I am going to change these numbers here as they correspond to this R value. So to do that, you're going to go in, gun off, gun on. Hang on, didn't do that right. Gun on, keep going through here. Find calibration. There we go. Right. So now what's happened is that you've got this screen up, and up there is your live readings. So up here and down there. So up there it says 825, and 825 equates to 226 bar. You don't really need to know your bar. Well, you do, but you kind of want to see, you know, you want to be worried about this really first. So what you do is you see at 825, we've already decided that 825 bar. Sorry, not getting out of the way. 825 R. We need to reduce this pulse width a bit, because the muzzle velocity that we're getting from the pellet is a bit high. So to do that, first we need to find that on here. So this is your pressure points. These are your R values. So you need to say, right, at 826 I was getting 930. Now I want to lower that. So what we do is we see, all right, we're gonna find that one there. So we're in this menu already, and you press the trigger and see it's going up in increments: 200, 245, 290, and we want to get it, find that figure there that is closest to that 825. You won't find 825. It will be either like 780 or it will be 840. So this is what you do. You go, how I do it is I go one below. Let's find, where can we go? I think, yeah, 785. So I'm going to say that's where I want to change it. So, right. And I currently I am on 2419. That's on my piece of paper that I've written down. But I'm finding that velocity is a bit hot. So I am going to lower it. So what I'm going to do is get the 2 up first. That's what we want. We want that. We're going to find 4. Press and hold. And we want to drop down, say, 10. So instead of 2419, it's going to be your 2409. So yep, got the 0 there. Press that, and then we're going to find 9. Press that. So you can either press and hold to save, right, and then it means coming right out of the menu, and then firing a shot, or do what I've just discovered here myself tonight, and I didn't know this was on there. You, instead of performing a trigger hold, you do a trigger press like that, and it says press and hold for a test shot. So yes, do you want to do that? Yes, you do, because you want to see what the velocity's got. So you press and hold for a test shot. Ready to shoot. But I'm not going to fire because we're indoors and the kids are sleeping, so I'm not doing that, and it's just dangerous. So you would fire your shot then, and obviously your chronograph's there, all ready to go, and it's going to tell you what shot you're getting, what velocity. Now if it's dropped down to 920, 921, something like that, great, I want to keep that. So you fire your shot, and then it will ask you press and hold to save, and then that's what you do. So come out of it again. And, oh, hang on, sorry. Come out of it again. Let's go through to the, let's just explain something just one more time, a little one. Right, okay. So after that shot's been fired, I've not fired a shot, obviously, but after that shot's been fired, that live reading's going to go down. So, like I said, you need to change this number here. And to do that, you come up here, you find... So say, for instance, it's not reading 825 no more because you just fired a shot. It's dropped down to whatever the nearest increment it can give you here. So we'll find 780 or whatever. We'll just say it's 825, 740, 780. I don't think we can get close to 830. Yeah, see, we would have gone above it, but we want to change that one as well. So what I'm going to do, so you can change above and below. So you've got 8, say for instance, it is 826. you want to change the one below that and the one above that, and then see. So I've already changed the one below that, so now I'm going to change the one above that just to see if it changes anything. So press and hold, 2 4 2 1 it was on. So yeah, there we go. Find 4, there we go, and we're finding the velocity was a bit too hot, so we're going to drop it down to 0 and 9. So press and hold, we're going to come down 9. These aren't exact, it's not an exact science, so every gun's different, everything performs differently. So what you're going to find, like I said 2 minutes ago, yeah, press and hold to save, or you press for a test shot. Yep, press and hold for a test shot, ready to shoot, and you're going to fire a shot and then see what the velocity is. Like I just said, I'm repeating myself now, but yeah. So once you've done that and you keep going through your different, so you've got your big long sheet of paper here with your shot string on, and it's showing you all your recorded values, and you look at it and going, right, that needs to change, that needs to go up or down. Did it have any effect? No, then it might need to be increased further or reduced further. So you just carry on doing that, and then you should give yourself a nice flat curve, which is going to be a damn sight better than what you get with the Daystate factory board. But although those guys do know how to program it, but you're going to give yourself that little bit more power and that little bit more flexibility. So I hope that's explained stuff a little bit better. It's one of those videos that you're never going to want to watch unless you want to buy one. And I'm sorry if I've bored you, but I've just thought I would give you something a little bit better than what I gave you last night. So thanks for watching, and as they all say, like and subscribe. Cheers.